Welcome everyone. Today I will tell you a story of software development lifecycle or SDLC. Before you start your career in IT as a software developer or website developer, mobile app developer, or as a software tester, you have to understand the concept of software development lifecycle or SDLC. So I will not make it complicated. I will not make it sound like a rocket science. I will explain it in a very easy way. That's how it should be, and I will make it sound like a storybook. So what is software development lifecycle or SDLC? SDLC is nothing but the process of developing a software or application or a website. Imagine if you own a restaurant and you need to create a website for your restaurant. So what are the first few things that you will do? First of all, you will try to find a web design company or a web developer and give him the project for creating your website, right? So as part of this process, what are the first thing that you will need to provide that website company or software developer? The first thing that you need to provide are the requirements. You have to specify what types of restaurant website do you need, what functionalities do you need your customers to order online, do you need your customers to view your restaurant menu online, or should be a bunch of slideshows which with flash animations, or just a simple HTML website with some basic navigation to your contact details, menu, and your address. So let's assume you need to create a website for a restaurant. So if we Google a restaurant website, let's say for a sushi restaurant. In this case, I'm navigating to a restaurant website called Bay Sushi, and this is a Japanese sushi restaurant around my area, and I'm a big fan of their food and their sushi. So if you own a restaurant, you have to, before they build this website, they have to specify that there has to be a menu option. So if you click on menu, you should be able to see the pictures and the names of the foods they have and the price list. Okay, and also there's a contact us page. So all these requirements are provided by who? All these requirements are actually provided by none but the customer. Okay, the owner of the restaurant has provided these requirements. So you have to provide these requirements to the website developer or the project manager. So the requirement specification is the very first thing that we get. Now, like I said, requirement analysis is the first thing, and after you specify the requirements in the software development or website development process, then what the developer or the company does, they design the specifications. Basically, they design some layouts, or they break down the requirements into multiple modules. Like there has to be a login module, users should be able to sign up, there should be a menu, the menu options can be a different separate module. So they draw some pictures, create some slides, or they basically do a high level design specification of the website or application. And in the next phase, what happens is developers, they start developing the website, right? So they start writing the codes, HTML, C++, Java, all different kinds of programming languages are available. So based on the product needs, developers start coding. So first the requirement stage, followed by the design specifications, and the developer start developing the website, right? So this is something not very unknown to all of you, because we all know that this is common sense, right? This is common sense that this is how it should work, right? But even though it's a common sense, still we have to understand the core concept and the rules of software development life cycle. So after the requirement analysis, design specifications, and start developing the code, then we have our next phase, which is the testing. Okay, so after the development completes, okay, then the testing begins, right? So who tests the website? Basically software testers. They will be testing the website. Okay, so it's you may be thinking why there is a need for a software tester. Why not the developers themselves test the website? That's because if it's a small project, developer will be doing the performing the testing by themselves. But if it's a medium size or it's a large project, usually, I mean, software development projects are taken in large scale, then they have to have testers who actually test the website or application and provide feedback to the developers. Okay, so it's not a very easy job, I'll tell you. Okay, so testers test the website, and then the last phase comes in. Okay, deployment or production. Deployment or production is nothing but the production of the website. That means the website development completes and it goes to the customer, it goes live, and customer gets access to the website, and the product owner, in this case the restaurant owner, he gets access to his website, and he can publish the website on the World Wide Web, www.com, right? So requirement analysis, design specifications, and then developing the code, testing the code, and so the testing comes at the very end of the development process, and at the end basically the software goes to production or deployment. That means it's ready to use. Now, is that all about software development lifecycle or SDLC? No, there are different ways of performing the software development. There are different methodologies. Okay, so SDLC has few different popular methodologies. Methodologies are nothing but different process, right? Just like if you eat rice, there are different ways of eating rice. Some people eat rice with hands, especially South Asian people, they eat rice with their own hands. Chinese people will eat that rice with chopstick, and some people will eat rice with spoons or forks, right? So there are different methodologies that we can perform. So SDLC has two very popular and two main methodologies over here. The first one is the waterfall methodologies. Okay, so waterfall is a very standard and an old way of developing websites and application. Back in the days, we used to use waterfall methodology, which is to be the standard way of developing the website. Gather the requirements, design the specifications, and start developing the website. At the end, test the website, the whole website, test it, and put it for production. Okay, the waterfall methodology. But nowadays, on the 21st century, a very popular SDLC methodology came in, which is called agile methodology. Okay, so agile methodology is basically the new generation and the most popular right now, most popular methodology among all the software development methodologies, which actually takes a very module by module approach for developing the website. Okay, so waterfall methodology is good for big projects. Okay, it's very good for large projects where the development process can take like 6 months or probably 1 year or 2 years. very, very large project, mostly in government agencies, they still use waterfall methodology. But nowadays, even for medium size or for some large projects, and definitely for small software projects, people use agile methodology. Okay, so agile waterfall says that I will develop the whole website or application, and at the end I test it and I put it for production. If you find any bug during the testing, then you send it back to the developers, and they fix the code, and you test the whole website again, and so on. Okay, but agile methodology came in, and it says that no, this is not how it should work. Okay, so if you are given a software project for developing a social network just like Facebook, now agile methodology comes in and says that I will not be developing the whole Facebook application. Okay, it says I will not be developing the whole Facebook application in one module. Okay, it takes a module by module approach, iteration by iteration approach. So agile methodology divides that social network project into multiple chunks. Okay, so it takes that project and divide it into 5, 10 or 15 or whatever modules, and it develops the modules one by one, and each module is tested before it's considered as completed. Okay, so agile is a more test focused methodology where each and every module is tested. So instead of building the whole house, okay, in 1 year, you'll be taking a room by room approach. You'll be building the master bed first and test the master bed, everything is fine. If something is wrong, you make adjustment in the master bed and you test it again, and so on. Once the master bed is done, then you move to the master bath, the kitchen and the bathroom, and so on. So it's a more step by step process, chunk by chunk process. So in this case, it's very easy to make changes. Okay, in waterfall methodology, whenever you have to make some changes in the requirements, the customer may come in and say, hey, I need a different kinds of, my users should be able to log in with their Facebook ID. So add that functionality. For waterfall methodology, it's a big hassle, but because the whole thing is already being developed or has already been developed, right? But agile methodology takes a very small portion and develop that small portion one by one, right? So in agile methodology, it's very easy to make changes and add something or delete something, because it's working with the small parts of the application. So how the waterfall methodology works is very straightforward. Just like the standard SDLC, it takes the requirements, design the specification, develop the code, and at the end the testing comes in and it goes to production and maintenance. Okay, but how agile is different from waterfall methodology? In agile, we definitely start with the requirement and design and develop that module, but in agile it has an iteration based development process. So if you have a restaurant, agile will divide your project into small different chunks. So that means you'll develop the home page of this website in iteration 1. This is the home page. Okay, in iteration 1 you develop the home page. Iteration 2 you develop the menu page or menu module, and contact us page comes in iteration 3. Okay, so instead of developing the whole website and then giving it to the testers for testing, you develop module by module, and iteration 1, iteration 2, 3, 4, and so on. So the development and testing happens in every iteration. So the testing plays a big role here. Testing will be done in each iteration. You develop the home page, test the home page, everything is fine, then move to the menu page. Otherwise don't. Okay, so this is what agile methodology believes. So in different iterations, different functionality is developed, and it is integrated with the next functionality, and it is tested. Okay, now the next thing is, once all the iterations are completed and tested, then it goes to the demo release. Demo release means the demo version of the application is published and is given to the customer. Who's the customer? Is the product owner. The owner of the restaurant is the product owner or customer. The customer provides feedback and he says, okay, everything looks good, but the contact us page should be better, it should be this, it should be that, there should be a contact form instead of just information. So users should be able to submit their information to the restaurant, or they should be able to book a seat, book a table through the contact us page, right? So the demo release. So in the demo release, customer provides the feedback and developers adjust the changes. So a new iteration is added. Developers adjust the changes in iteration, let's say iteration 10, and testers test the iteration, the changes, test the integration, and once everything is done, then it goes to system test. System test is nothing but testing the whole system and the main functionality of the system, and usually testers test the system. System test is done by testers, and there are some acceptance tests done by the customers as well. So customers, they do the user acceptance test, so they test the website and say, okay, yeah, everything looks fine. Then it goes to production. Production is nothing but the publish. It's all about publishing the website or software. So the software is published once the system test or the testing is done. Now this whole process of agile methodology and waterfall method, the whole process of agile actually happens within another process, and that is called Scrum. So in the next video, let's look at Scrum and what exactly is Scrum.